Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boots. Today, we're going to be discussing under the documentary Under Pressure and other documentaries that we love, and also reflect on our Christmas breaks. So, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Let's go.
Welcome.
Lace up.
Oh.
Trying an extra dark athletic brewing.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm very
nice.
excited about it.
I'm drinking a coffee. Katie?
That's very good.
I am drinking diluting juice in my Houston cup.
That's cool.
What kind of juice?
What kind of juice?
Diluting.
What is
So,
that?
I think you it's like you flavored juice, like cordial, and then you put water in it. Like I think you had
Like a
Kool-Aid.
Mio? Okay, like Kool-Aid. Okay. Tang.
But
Yeah.
better. It's called Robinson's, and you can get it in the international aisle at HEB.
Oh, we'll have to gander down that area. See what
Yeah.
what flavor
Now
is it?
instead of like $3, I pay like £1 something because it's ridiculously expensive because it's imported. So I have my juice back.
Yay!
Well, congratulations.
That's exciting for you.
Yeah, you should try it. Robinson's apple and blackcurrant. It's delicious.
Okay.
Apple
We
and
must do this.
blackcurrant. That's quite a flavor. Is this something that
Okay.
kids drink? Like
the best.
kids drink like Kool-Aid and stuff. Here,
That's a good
is it
question.
something
Yeah.
that
Everybody still drinks the old, like as adults, the Robinsons.
really?
It's
Okay.
good. It's better than Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is disgusting.
It's
Okay, hot take.
it was
Kool-Aid is disgusting. I'm a Capri Sun girl.
I really
No.
just grew up on just
I like Capri Sun.
really.
Capri Sun is where it's at.
Wow.
In
Okay.
terms of juice,
Yeah.
like in terms
Yeah.
of really sugary juice.
Robinson's HEB International Aisle. Go check it out. Apple and blackcurrant. It'll be expensive, and it's like this. It'll be in a bottle.
Okay.
It's delicious. We call that diluting juice, and everybody drinks it here, even as an adult.
Really. That's quite cute.
Okay, I love it. So is that a Scottish thing, Katie?
Yeah, like a British thing. Yeah.
Like a British thing? Okay. Okay. We're going to have to check that out. So, how was everyone's holiday? We're coming off of Christmas, heading into New Year's. And how was it for y'all?
It was good. I went home for about 4 or 5 days. I had to run
Ooh.
between flights. It was quite an experience. There was like a delay leaving Houston to get to Denver, and that's where my connecting flight was. And I had to, run, and I made it. They had already taken me off the flight, but the gate was still open, so they had to put me back on the flight. And I made my seat and everything like that, so it was good. I think I ran about like a half mile in like less than 3 minutes. It was great.
Wow.
It was great. That's
So
definitely
when
Did they give
over-exaggerating.
your seat to
but-
someone else?
What?
When Kylie trains, like runs outside, she's training for this moment to make her flight.
I felt like it. I felt like I had like really good form running through the airport.
Prepared.
I had my backpack, and I was just like really breathing through my nose,
Bombing
out
it.
my mouth. Yes, crushing it. Yeah. And I feel like people were looking at me like, wow, she should be on some kind of team for this kind of airport running situation, because I was going fast with good form, fast and functional.
They were probably
Perfect.
like, that girl's going to make her flight.
Just like the normal Christmas movie, right? When you're running through the airport.
Yeah, seriously.
Like
Yeah.
in Home Alone.
Yes. Yeah. What did you guys get into last night?
I was at a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends Jason and Dave, they live in a place called Kushney, which is in the middle of nowhere, and they have a bar in their garden, so that's where we were. So we went for dinner and we stayed at their house. Yeah, we had a party in the bar.
That sounds awesome. Now, the
I
song
know,
you
and I wasn't too hungover.
today, like feeling
Yeah,
okay
I was
today?
good.
Nice.
Yeah, and I drank a
Now,
lot, so.
what all did you drink?
What did we drink? Um, what did I start with? We had some gluten-free beer because Dave is gluten intolerant. So actually, and I'm wondering if that's why I feel so good, because he says he feels better drinking the gluten-free. So we had some gluten-free beer. It was called Belfield, I think. He had like a keg of it. So we were drinking that, like a pale ale. It was very nice. Then I had some red wine. It was like a Cabernet Sauvignon. And then went back to beer. So this is why I'm surprised I'm okay. And then I had some gin.
Oh my gosh, you did
Which
some
gin did I?
mixing.
I had a mermaid gin and tonic.
What is
Fever
that?
tree tonic. Yeah, with bits of apple in it. It's been an apple-y themed couple of days.
Seriously, yeah. Your Robinsons and your gin drink last night.
Yeah, apple-y. Christmas, we went down to Edinburgh to see Sarah's family for a couple of nights till Christmas Eve. Then we came home. Then we went to my sister's on Christmas Day. It was pretty quiet. I actually was full of the cold.
Oh
So,
no. I'm sorry.
yeah, bummer.
Did you run
Just getting over it now.
into Rachel Daly?
Rachel Daly? No, I did not. She was in Edinburgh, I know, but I did not see her. Got it.
I'm so sorry.
I was going to DM her and be like, when are you leaving? Do you want to meet up? Thought that might be a bit much.
So this this is kind of taking a side note, or a side bridge. But Kylie and I were talking about what soccer players we would most likely be able to be, like, realistically be able to be friends with. So who do you think, like, realistically, based on where you live, based on maybe something you would have in common, who do you think you would be able to
Probably
be
Rachel
friends with?
Corsi, the Scotland captain. She plays for Aston Villa. And she's, the national Scotland captain. Because she's from Aberdeen. So I feel like I can bombard her and be like, I'm from Aberdeen. And she comes home to Aberdeen a lot.
And you could DM her.
Yeah, the local coffee shop. I've seen more, like one time she went to a local coffee shop, so I just need to hang out there Christmas time when she comes home. Every day. Yes. Oh, fancy seeing you here.
Like, hey, want to be best friends?
Waiting for this moment for like 3 weeks now.
Here every single day.
Yeah, what about you? Who would you meet? Who could you be friends with?
I think I could realistically, like most realistically, be friends with Jane Campbell, probably, here at the Houston Dash goalkeeper, because she just seems really down to earth, and I like all of her Instagram posts. She always posts about working out and things like that. And also, I think that we could hang out and do Houston things. And I just love her, but I think realistically she could be my friend. But somebody who I would love to be my friend is Maria Sanchez, also in Houston, and plays for the Dash. But I'm just a really big fan. I don't know if we could hang out and do stuff together, but she plays music and I could just listen to her do that and cheer her on.
Yeah, I guess first shout out to Jane Campbell for the wedding and everything. Yeah.
Well, Yeah, shout out to Jane
Yeah.
on getting
Lovely.
married over Christmas. Kylie, who would you realistically be able to be friends with?
I don't know. It's probably similar, the folks on the Houston Dash team. So
But
Jane makes a
who?
lot of sense.
Okay.
I follow her on TikTok. I follow her on Instagram. Jane? Yeah.
This is our
Who else?
plea.
That's the only one that makes sense to me.
Yeah, this is our plea from the Boots podcast to please
Come on the show.
This is our formal invitation. Jane, would you want to be our friend? That's that's it, I guess. Ooh, come on the show, and also we could go and go to coffee shops here in Houston. I'm sure Jane, she's got to like coffee. Wouldn't
Go
you
to coffee
think?
shops, go to breweries, do a
Oh,
workout
yeah,
together.
fun.
I'm
That would
okay
be
doing a
cool.
workout together. She seems amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah. Work out in a brew afterwards, whether that be coffee or beer. You do you.
I would also love to be friends with Michelle Alozier because I also follow her on Instagram and TikTok, and she's hilarious. And she always posts these like what she does in a day, and she's like challenging herself to video them like every day for 30 days or something like that. And I'm pretty sure I'm one of the biggest fans like on that on the TikTok channel. And she's hilarious.
Now, how would transitioning from like a fan go to being a friend? Like that has to be done kind of craftfully. I'm definitely fans of all my friends, but I was friends, at the same time as becoming a
I don't
fan.
know.
Now it's like you got to step up that game.
Like what would we do together is kind of what. Well, so Katie's saying you just have to like tactfully be where they are. So that makes sense, I think.
Yeah, that's one.
That's one. Maybe we could slide into their DMs.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not weird.
I think that's how modern people meet these days.
I'm gonna try it. The DMs.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get random people
think it
following
is
you on
too.
Instagram, right? So
Okay.
I'm assuming they're trying to be your friend. Some of them are weird, but
Yeah.
That's a nice assumption, Katie. They just want to be friends. They just want to be friends.
Yeah, they're not like following / stalking you. It's okay. It's not what we're doing to other
not everyone.
people.
No. They're not fake profiles.
Yeah, just
They're
friends.
not bots. We're just gonna be buddies, maybe. My Christmas was awesome. So the last time we filmed the pod, I was in Miami, and I spent the week and a half there with my brother, his wife, and my parents. And we went to a Miami Dolphins game, which was really exciting. Miami Dolphins won. Yay. And overall, we had a really good time. We also cooked a turkey and stuffing for Christmas, which was really exciting for me because my mom's is very, very good. And yeah, it was overall very, very, very nice. My dog illegally swam in a pool, probably. Our Airbnb had a pool, and the first thing my dog did when we arrived was my brother opened up the door, and my dog just like ran right in, jumped, and so there was like a waiting area. So my dog went into the waiting area and was just standing there, and it was like he's a golden retriever, he's bigger, and he had this much covered probably, and he thought that was it. I think I don't think he understood how deep the pool was. And then my dog just kept walking forward, and we're all like yelling at him, and he just fell right into the pool and became soaked. And we were all like, no, Bentley, no. And that was with than the first 5 minutes of us being at the Airbnb. So that was exciting, but he loved it. We went to a dog beach. There's one in Hollywood Beach. And I snapped this really cool shot of Bentley running and playing. And that was really awesome. So it was kind of like watching, my child have a good Christmas. That's what this was for me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just equivalent.
It's like watching your kids open up gifts. Like, I gotta watch my dog enjoy the Hollywood Beach. But it was really nice.
Yeah, your pictures look nice.
What else did you do in Miami?
Yeah, and all of the food. We had so much good food. Did anybody else have any nice food over the break? What was your favorite? What did you have? What was it like?
My mom makes this amazing stuffing, and it's my favorite food.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to go with stuffing. It's a
The
gingerbread
recipe's
stuffing. We all need to share our stuffing recipes.
Oh, do you have a picture?
I do not have a picture.
Yes. That
I
sounds
don't
amazing.
have a picture.
We
But
must.
It's Nigella. You don't
What
know
is Nigella?
Nigella Lawson?
What?
Oh, no?
She's a British
Tell
chef,
us more.
like a TV chef. She's gorgeous. And she makes great food. I show you a picture, you might know her. I show you.
Okay.
Okay. Totally. Kylie, you know her now.
Such a liar, just
Oh, well, I will send you her recipe. She's just like
I'm now really interested.
she does TV shows. They're on BBC America, I think.
Nigella.
That's really cool. Okay, so that's funny because all of our favorites is stuffing. Mine too. My mom makes some of the best stuffing. It's phenomenal. It's so good. And I definitely went crazy on the leftovers the next day too.
Excellent.
Yeah. Stuffing for days.
Did anyone have any good desserts?
Trifle.
Whoa. Come at us with a trifle. What was
What's
all in
that?
the trifle?
Like sponge soaked in booze, and then some fruit, and then custard, cream, and then you could put fruit or nuts on top.
Yum.
Wow.
It's called a British trifle. Have you ever had it? You never had that?
No, it sounds really good though. Like I would like that. I know I would.
I have to make it.
Nigella also makes a very good trifle.
Shout out Nigella.
Of course she does.
What was your desserts?
Willow is my brother's wife. She was hell-bent on us making Christmas cookies. And so it was just my brother, Willow, and I at the time. And we were making Christmas cookies, but we didn't have enough flour to roll out the dough in order to shape the put in the cookie cutters to create the shapes that we had wanted. Like a tree, for instance, was just a giant lump and things like that. So we still tried to roll out the dough using like olive oil spray. It was not very effective. And then we decided to give up and we turned the dough into just balls of dough so that we just had like sugar cookie balls. And then we decorated them, and it was a time. It was really interesting, but they were delicious, and I thought that I did the best, I would say, at the decorating. So
It's almost like you were decorating little Christmas ornaments if they were little balls,
Exactly. Jingle
Nice.
balls. Jingle balls. Do you have any traditions that you do every year?
No.
Just plain and simply no.
No.
We just like traditions is mostly like just the food.
Yeah. But it's also my cousin's birthday on Christmas. Lucky her. She was born on the 25th of December. So we also always have peanut butter.
No
cake.
way.
Yeah, for her. So that's what I ate. I'm not a big fan of rhubarb, but a lot of people like rhubarb.
What's a peanut butter cake?
It is a yellow cake with peanut butter frosting.
Oh, okay.
Easy.
I think that sounds delicious. I love peanut butter. I also love rhubarb, so I'm pro your dessert tradition.
Desserts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next day, I went over to my Aunt Sonia, she lives out on a ranch outside of my hometown. And she had brownies also. So I took that peanut butter cake and I topped a brownie on top of it and had like a peanut butter brownie cake kind of situation. It was delicious. Delicious.
Smoosh.
So good. So then
Nice.
it made me think of, why do I even need to worry about this cake? Why not put this peanut butter frosting on these brownies just in general? So like, I can't wait to do that when I'm craving peanut butter and chocolate again.
That's something that I want now, like as in today.
Delicious. Do you like crunchy or smooth?
Crunchy.
Different purposes.
Same.
Oh gosh, I'm okay with both. Like, crunchy is good in your no-bake cookies. Smooth is good for like your frostings. You know, smooth's good on a banana.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, if you're making like cookies or something, if you're making stuff, you've got to use smooth. But otherwise, if you're going to be putting it on like a sandwich or like a muffin or something like that, crunchy is the way to go.
When do you put peanut butter on a muffin?
I was gonna ask. Who does
An
that?
English muffin, like an English muffin.
Oh, okay. I could just imagine you getting your muffin and spreading it on top. I was like, oh, it's different.
It's just my favorite on poppy seed muffin, you know. I bet Jane would like it. That's how we're gonna bond.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Wait outside after the game with your muffin and your peanut butter. And you'll be that girl.
You know what? One time, I after a game, we watched the Chicago Red Stars and the Dash play, and I had I'm a big Alyssa Nair fan, and so I was like yelling Alyssa Nair's name, but they had lost the game, and Alyssa Nair was working with her goalkeeping coach at the time, so she was not really interested in like coming over and interacting with the fans, rightfully so. But we continued to just yell, Alyssa Nair, Alyssa. And she didn't come. It was sad.
So we have to have a better tactic.
I hate that.
Yeah, so maybe the muffin will be more enticing. Maybe that's how I get it to work.
I think you might need a sign. Get your muffin.
So
That's
good.
it. That's gonna work.
Please take a picture of that for me.
That's what Kylie and I are gonna do when we go to the Dash games.
Does it have like a Jane, comma, get your muffin here? Or like.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Yeah. You might need to wear an outfit.
probably like the Muffin Man.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I'll do.
I think you might even make KQ News.
Oh, how
And then we
how
can
exciting
advertise
would that be?
boots. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, well, now that we have that plan,
Good advertisement for
yeah,
us.
that's the plan. That's what we will do. Hopefully nobody remembers this and actually holds us to it.
I will.
How many likes does it take you to do that?
Okay, if I get over 100 likes on this TikTok clip, I'll do it for real.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to boost the hell out of it.
It's just Katie making bots. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. And are we ready to talk about the documentaries?
Yeah.
Okay, the
Yeah.
one documentary that we said we were going to talk about, Under Pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what were your thoughts?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Obviously, because I enjoy Lynn, because she was one of the co-hosts of Snacks, which is one of my favorite podcasts. I like listening and getting to know Christine Mewis. I like how they like paid attention to fringe players, like or people that were on the bubble of making it or not making it. That was kind of cool. It was interesting to see like the insights just in general on like Savannah DeMello also, because I didn't know much about her. And like her starting the first game of the World Cup was like awesome for her, but also interesting in general because that was her first cap also. Like, wow, that is quite an introduction to the U.S. women's national team. And then the rest of it was okay. I liked most of it. Most of it I like, mainly just because I like to get to know the players, things that come straight from their mouth instead of regurgitated through some other kind of platform. So that part was nice, like just getting to listen to them. One of my favorite pieces of any of the docs.
Yes, I loved how much we got to see of Christine Mewis because she's adorable and really, really cute. And I thought that was interesting to see. I also liked how they interviewed previous players and talked about the progression of the game and how like the U.S. set the standard for women's football and how the rest of the world has kind of caught up competition wise. And that was another big focus of the doc. Something like interviewing like Abby Wambach, things that she would say and previous players. I thought that was really, really interesting. And also just the dynamic of the more veteran players with the newer players, I thought was interesting because we had a couple, like three, retire this year from the U.S. Women's National Team, and it's kind of like a transition period for them, and they highlighted that as well. So I thought that was interesting, and also just seeing different players' perspectives. Also, oh my god, it did make the episode 2 where they all got told whether they made the team or not made me cry. I was crying legitimately because imagine all of those emotions and how intense it is to be told that you made it for something you had worked so incredibly hard for. And I also thought it was interesting because when Netflix chose to create the doc, I'm sure it was under the assumption that the U.S. women's national team would do really well in the World Cup tournament. And it would kind of be like their journey to maybe winning or at least like medaling like they had always done in the past. So it was kind of interesting to see to see that not happen, and what those players' perspective were, because they got so much criticism like during the actual World Cup.
Now, that episode where they're all told whether or not they're on the team, do you think that was the right way to do it? Like, it seems like a very hard day for all of the players. Like, why couldn't it have been at the end of a camp, or something like that, to where you didn't have to go to practice and like pretend like I don't know, like whether or not you did or didn't make it.
That was a normal day.
Yeah. Yeah. It seemed a bit less personable, but I
Rough.
like face-to-face interaction, right? As opposed to like phone calls and stuff like that. So it could be different for everybody.
I think like as a bubble player, I would probably prefer that, because then if you didn't make the team, you were in your own space and you didn't have to see anybody, like your teammates. And you could just kind of like work with those emotions in your own space, maybe with your family or on your own time or on your own day. Like I would hate to be told that I didn't make the team and that I wasn't like in my own like space where I could really feel those emotions, and I would have to like be forced to conceal them and be forced to hide them because of everything else that's going on around me. So I don't think that's necessarily the wrong way to do it, but it does seem more like impersonal. But thinking of the players who got called that didn't make the team, I think maybe that would be like the best. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I liked it because I think after watching the World Cup and then watching that documentary, like I don't follow the US women's team probably as closely as maybe yous, but I didn't realize how much of a transition they're actually going through. So I think like watching the documentary kind of, when you hear about like the coach, I also don't actually think the coach gelled very well with the whole team. And he had like his job is quite difficult. Like he's got like veteran players that are about to retire, right? And then you've got all these young ones, and they barely played any games together before the World Cup because they had so many injuries as well, right? So I think when you take all that into account, even though the US are so amazing at football, that the other teams around the world have also progressed enormously, even since the last World Cup when Carly Lloyd played, right? And I don't think people acknowledge that. And I think like you as Americans probably thought you were going to go in and medal, right? I thought you would medal. But I did also know that like after like the European Championships and watching a lot of that the teams had progressed quite a bit. So I was quite excited for the World Cup because I was like, oh, I'll show you how close the teams are getting to the US. And then I didn't expect them to fall out when they did. And I was surprised. But when you watch the documentary, I think it kind of makes sense. Like you've had a huge change, you've had lots of injuries. I think they said they played maybe 11 times together, that squad, before the World Cup. I mean, that's really not a lot. And then I also thought it was interesting, like, he never changed formation. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. Like, to me, when you enter a tournament, you have a formation, but you should always have a backup formation. Like, you should have two ways to play. But again, if he hadn't had much time with them and there's a lot of transition, I thought it was interesting he never changed formation, even though you're, like, these weren't playing great. It didn't seem like he had another plan.
Yeah, I do think that the coaching could have probably been better. And also, like, Vlatko had received so much negative criticism for that. And in the documentary, I think Lynn Williams said something like, well, if I don't perform, my spot could be taken away from me, just like a manager's position. So everybody has to perform at their best in order to keep their spot, including a coach. And I thought that was a very, I don't know, impactful statement.
Telling comment. Yeah.
And then also in the documentary, Lindsay Horan had said something like, we might need to conform more to a European style of play, which is having a lot more possession, a lot more short passes, being more intentional. And that's interesting hearing coming from her because she is somebody who does play in Europe already. So I'm wondering even more what her perspective is like playing on the U.S. national team with majority of those players playing for the NWSL, and she is not. So it's interesting as well.
Yeah. I also thought it was, what else was I going to say about Blackhawk? I think whoever took the job had a difficult, I think this is the hardest job of a US coach right now because you've had such great success and you won those 2 in a row and you had some great, really great stars, right? Even your Rapinos, your Kriegers. So you go through so much transition. I think whoever had that job, it was a difficult job, but I think it was Lindsay, and who's the vice captain? I can't remember.
Alex Morgan.
But she said she
Alex.
would talk. Yeah, they would talk to Flacco, but they weren't sure if anyone else felt comfortable speaking out to him, which I was like, you need to have that openness with your manager, right? And so did he not have that the man management, right? Does he talk to them individually as players as well as a group? I thought it was really interesting comment that they made, kind of as if they didn't feel they gelled with him.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also think that there was a lot of pressure on the Federation for certain players to make the team that maybe didn't showcase their absolute best leading up to it. So I just wonder how much a manager has to deal with when it comes to so many other factors, right? Like pressure from the Federation because they have to also promote the World Cup. They also look at it from a perspective on marketing. And so there's a lot of, I think, factors that went into Vladko's decisions that are just outside of just purely playing football.
Talent. Yeah. What do you think of Carly Lloyd's comments?
I think it's interesting that Carly Lloyd is so vocal, but also I don't think that she necessarily has I think she has one of the most, a really good perspective, but at the same time, every team morphs and changes and is different. So I think it's hard to make comments on a team that you aren't a part of anymore, that you don't know, and in a place that is so much different. Like for instance, Mia Hamm, was the best in the 90s and early 2000s, and it would be weird for her to say now negative comments on our current national team with how far women's soccer has come. So I think it's kind of unfair in a way to comment so negatively on so many things that have changed. I don't know. Kylie?
Yeah. It's she has an opinion and it's valid, and she's been there before, but it's not the same team as when she was there. But it's almost like the negative thoughts that I think sometimes, and she is saying them out loud, but I never have thought them through, and I definitely don't have a leg to stand on when I'm thinking similar thoughts, but it's like there's so many other factors that I have no clue of what's going on. It's almost like that for me. I see where she's coming from, and it could make sense, but I also don't think it's the whole story, I guess. And it's interesting how vocal she is about it, I guess, and how vocal she was after, what was it, the Portugal game, when she kind of really on live TV kind of really was pretty disappointed in that performance, and just in general how the team was celebrating afterwards, right? I don't think that helps much personally. I think, But yeah, I really don't think it helps much. That's my thought process. Too much of
Yeah, I get she can have an opinion, and I think she was just disappointed, but I don't think when she questioned like that they cared enough. I was like, I don't think that was helpful at all. And that's the one thing I was a bit like, they're your team. Some of them were your teammates, but as well, she's retired a few years. The game has changed every season. The game moves forward so rapidly. I'm like, I just felt like it was some of it I thought was a little harsh to be saying on TV, and I wonder how much that affected the players. Like to have a legend like her calling you out so terribly on national TV, which then created everybody to start creating this. So to me, I would feel like we're not being supported.
Yeah.
right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's really important.
And that's quite negative to bring into your environment as a team.
Yeah, and it's really important to support the best female athletes of your of your country who are playing in one of the biggest tournaments in the world. And just because they might not be performing at the level that they have in the past, it doesn't mean we don't support them. Just like any other huge athlete or team, like for instance, in any other sport, if your team is not doing well, you're still going to be a diehard fan. So that's kind of how I felt too. Like we don't just support them whether they're just if they're winning, we're supporting them because
when they win.
We're supporting them regardless of how they're doing. And I think that's also the position that any like U.S. Women's National Team supporter should be taking, because not everybody is going to win every single game. Like that's ridiculous to ask. Okay, so after seeing the Chelsea one, what are your thoughts on Emma Hayes and her now being our U.S. Women's National Team coach?
Gutted.
Tell me
Why
more.
are you gutted?
She'll sort you out. Because she's going to sort your team out. She is after I watched the US Women's, what was it called again? Under Pressure. Then I watched Chelsea. And I think she is the one manager that can kind of drive the US forward. I thought she talks to players individually. She gives them their own time. Player manage, like you're going to be a substitute. She talks to you. I just think she's quite brutally honest with them.
Yeah.
Like she was getting on at Chelsea, like that's not how you perform at Chelsea. And, so I could see some of that, but I'm interested how much impact she can make before the Olympics. Because she's going to be in the job, like a month, 6 weeks?
It's tiny, but yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
But I think she is the person that the US need to take you through this transition of some really great legends. And if you think about what they all did to get equal pay, I think that team that's going out are amazing athletes, more than just what they do on the pitch, right? They've done so much for women's football around the world. And that's why I get a little annoyed with what Carly kind of was, ramming into them a little bit. I was kind of like, I don't know. I just thought it was a bit harsh, but I think Emma Hayes she's going to be, if you could have had her for this World Cup, I think you may have done better.
Yeah, and also I think Emma Hayes holds herself to such a high standard. So because she already is holding herself to such a high standard, it's reasonable to hold her players to the same standard. And I think that was she's very hard on herself, and it was easy to see that in the Chelsea documentary, which, by the way, if nobody has seen these documentaries, the Lioness documentary and the Chelsea documentary are both on YouTube and easily accessible. to watch. And then the Under Pressure one, the one that we are currently talking about with the women's national team, is on Netflix. And there's also some other ones, and they're really cool to watch, I think. Throwing that out there.
Yeah. There's a couple of good Arsenal ones. So those are on YouTube as well. The Togetherness, I think, is what it's called, for just the team about Arsenal. And then there's the new release of Step by Step, which is how Vivian Miedema and Beth Mead, tore their ACLs and their recovery process. Both are fantastic and just fun watches. And those are all on YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't even think Emma Hayes was probably on my radar of somebody that we could get as a head coach for the U.S. Women's National Team job. I don't like, for all the articles I was reading, she wasn't like a name listed, and I think it was like definitely like surprising that. I think about maybe a couple weeks before it was officially announced, they were saying that she could possibly be leaving Chelsea, and I'm like, whoa, that's amazing news, because it was originally like the OL Reign head coach was on a short list. Maybe perceivably like from these news outlets, or old Arsenal coach, and I can't remember, Tony Gustafson from Australia was like rumored to be in talks about it.
Australia, yeah.
And not Emma Hayes. And like,
I have a question. If you could ask Emma Hayes one thing about herself or about anything, like if you could just sit down with her and ask her something, what would you want to know?
Which like manager does she look up to in the game? Like, who does she admire as another manager sort of coach in the game? That's what I'd want to know.
I think I'd want to know what makes her so passionate. Like, how did she? What is her background in order to into what became who she is? Like, how did she decide? Like, this is what I'm going to go after, or what, I wonder what drives her. I would love to know that.
Hmm.
and I'd like to know, how does she like stick with it as a head coach or as a manager of different football clubs? Because it seems like it's a super hard job, because like if you don't do good, or if you don't have like a winning season, to at least in one of maybe two of the seasons that you're given, you're out of there. It's like you're only as good as your next game, essentially. Like, you lose a game, it's all your fault. You win a game, hoorah! But like, it's cutthroat as far as any kind of position is thought of. So how does she stay in it and keep her head level, almost, right? That sounds like a lot of pressure, so much pressure.
Yeah. She was like, I read she used to be a footballer, but she had a really bad ankle injury that killed her playing career.
That is super interesting. And also, like in the documentary, she had talked about being a mom, and how juggling that and being a coach, or I mean, being a manager, had kind of doing both things can be really difficult. And I wonder how how she's going to be like juggling all of those things while also being playing for the U.S. Women's National Team. And what I would love to see is another documentary with Emma Hayes and the the U.S. Women's National Team, because I think that would be really cool to see how all of the inner workings of her style match with our the women's national team for the U.S. style, and how all those players kind of mesh together. And to get an inside scoop on that would be really awesome. So Netflix, keep it going, I think, with the documentary.
There's one thing that I thought was interesting and pretty relatable, when it was kind of centered around Christy Mewis. The U.S. had already gone out, and kind of Sam Kerr and their relationship. Christy Mewis was talking about how she has imposter syndrome, about how, like, why is Sam even with me, and like I have this imposter syndrome. And you're just thinking, like, Christy, it's because you're amazing also. Like, do you guys ever like struggle with any kind of imposter syndrome? And like, what do you guys kind of think with that area? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Definitely have had imposter syndrome, yeah. I think you just have to believe in yourself, right? Like, I think and I don't know if it's worse in women, that we think we're not as good as other people, or we're quite critical maybe on ourselves, but I think you just have to know who you are and believe in yourself, right? And don't kind of try to compare yourself with others, because everybody's different and everybody has different, I think, skill sets and different talents that they bring to whatever they're doing, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when I get imposter syndrome and I reflect back on my past experiences, I'll think about it differently. That's normally like when I get out of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was really good at that one thing. Or, oh, I did handle that situation just so well. And I think it's hard to think of how well you're doing at something in the moment. And especially if you're highly
Yeah.
critical on yourself, or maybe a perfectionist, or any of those things, or you want to like be a really high performing person at whatever it is you're doing. And so I've tried to, I think about it, as like Katie said, being more confident in myself. But I think imposter syndrome is so relatable because especially when you're surrounded by peers who are already really successful or really good at something. For instance, at work, if you're already around people who are really high performers, or, for instance, like Christy Mewis is playing with the best soccer players in the world, and is partners with arguably one of the best soccer players in the world. I think it's really easy to feel that. And so also I think it's important to hype each other up. Like if I notice one of my friends is really successful and really good at something, I might be like, oh my goodness, you're doing amazing at that. Or I've noticed you really excelling at this one thing, because I think that kind of helps that person eliminate their own insecurities that they may have
Yeah.
surrounding that. And so it's also really important to, support each other or support your friends in the things that you've noticed they're doing really, really well at. Or, like family members, because then they might think to themselves, oh, I am doing well at that. Oh, I am good at that. And it kind of like helps dissipate those feelings.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What about you, Kylie? What are your thoughts?
Oh gosh, yeah, I suffer from imposter syndrome all the time. I never think I'm good enough for like almost everything, but I don't. Yeah, usually fixing it. I don't know how to fix it ever. Usually it's first calming down when I get into like those tailspins, and then just talking it through. Usually either with my friends or my family and stuff like that. They'll typically tell me that
Yeah.
stuff, kind of like what you're saying, just as having those people that will have your back and kind of let you know that you are good enough and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I don't know if there's like easy fixes to like get around it though.
No, there's not. I don't think it's easy to kind of work around those things. It's like a combination of a lot of things, and you're just always propelling yourself forward. Like, for instance, if you think about yourself, 5 years ago, from 8 years ago, from 10 years ago, you're just like, oh my goodness, who I was is so funny to me now because of all of
Yes.
the change that I've gone through, all of the growth that I've gone through. But also, it was really important to have gone through all of that because now I'm here. And I think that's okay. That's kind of tying back to how Lynn talks about her career as well, because she had a really difficult, or I don't know, like I think a tougher time being successful on the women's national team and also in her NWSL career. And she's just kind of like, oh, I had to go through all of those things, so now I can be playing at the World Cup, playing at this level. And she, even at the end of the documentary, says something like, I'm really proud of all the things that I endured, even though we didn't come out as like winners in a sense. So I think that's important too. Like looking back at all the things that you've gone through to make it to where you are now. And you're just kind of like, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think like actually reflecting on even like people say you should do it on a yearly basis, right? Like, I think that helps with your imposter syndrome, because like you say, you'll be things you'll be like, oh, I did this year. I managed to do this and this was new or something. And I think it helps to just to reflect on what you're doing, because you will find stuff that you're progressing on, and everybody's journey is different, right? So I never do that, but we should do that.
Okay, on that note,
Like, do you have any goals for next year, for 2024, we can help you with?
I don't think so. I knew you were going to ask this, and I was like, I haven't really thought of this. I'll get thinking for the next one.
okay, we're going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We can do
Writing it down. What about you? Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I'll hold them off for the next pod if we're gonna dangle a little carrot in front of our audience here. Yeah.
Do you guys do it? I never really do it. So
I think about things that I want to accomplish next year. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool. Okay, Krista, do you?
I do have some, yes. And in the spirit of just waiting till next time, I will wait till next time as well. But I do like to reflect at the end of things and see how I could do better. Like, for instance, at the end of a school year, when I was teaching, I would think about like what I wanted to do next school year. At the end of the year, yes, or maybe at the end of a really big project, like how I could do better. So yes, I do have some quote unquote goals and resolutions, even though they're not, like very specific things. There are definitely ways I want to improve, and I would like to hold myself to it, which is, I guess, part of my resolution that I will talk about next time.
Okay. Hey, I have one question. Christy mentioned in the World Cup, she was watching Sam with Sam's family, and then someone had said to her, why are you not wearing an Australia top? And she says, because she couldn't wear an Australia top. And I thought that was very interesting. And I was going to ask you, if your partner played for a different country and you were out of a competition, would you wear a different national top to support them?
I totally would.
I would. I'm a big softie. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I was like, why is she not wearing the top?
I totally would. I would also.
If like,
I would also.
I'd be pissed if I was Sam. I'd be like, where the goddamn top?
I would also like make sure the last name was on the back. Like I would have put Kerr on the back. Like I would have done the whole thing. But I don't know.
So Christy, that was bad. Bad on you, Christy.
Like, Christy, we love you, first of all, but also...
Oh, we do love you, but I was surprised. I was like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we should send her an Australia top.
With Kerr on the back.
Well, keeping up with it, she just got transferred to West Ham, so she's going to be playing in Europe, which is super exciting. Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on Christy Mewis's transfer over there from Gotham?
I think it's awesome because in the documentary, she had even mentioned, like, a lot of the doc was about highlighted Christy, which was cool. And so you can see Sam Kerr in and out of the documentary. And listening to Christy Mewis on Snacks, I thought she was maybe a little bit more, I don't know. She just came across so adorable in the documentary, and it made me love her even more. With how she talked about her sister, how she talked about Sam Kerr and their relationship. I was just like, I love you. You're so cute and adorable. And it was awesome to kind of see her personality a little bit through there. But I think it's really, really, and also in the doc, they had mentioned that they didn't want to really be doing long distance anymore. And so I think that it kind of makes sense that she's going to London and that they can be together. So I, as a romantic, for sure, think it's adorable. And I also think it's kind of a good career move because she she's never really been like a full on star before on a team. Like the shirts are in the signs and things like that. Like she's a very decorated player and she's very successful. But I think I saw some crazy statistic that their Twitter account had gone up like double or triple or something like that with the announcement of the signing of Christy Mewis. So I think that's kind of cool. Like she gets to be kind of the star.
Yeah, I saw they had advertised their first game back for the new, like after the Christmas break. And it's all Christy Mewis. I've seen a few things they've been advertising for their games. So I think it's great for her. I think it's interesting because they're like second bottom of the league. And over in England, like if they could get relegated. I presume she is on a contract for 6 months or she'll have a relegation clause. She is not going to go down with that team. There's no way. She'll either just have a 6-month contract or she'll be, if they get relegated, she'll be allowed to leave like without someone having to buy out her contract at West Ham. There's no way she's going to take that risk and go down with them.
For listeners like my mother,
She's too good.
could you define relegation?
So relegation is if you are bottom of the league at the end of the season with the lowest points, you go down into the second league, and the team who wins in the second league gets promoted to the first league.
Yes.
So then you're playing less competitively, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is so interesting.
and you don't have that in the NWSL, right?
No, there's no other league.
You just come last and that's it.
No other leagues.
So there's like less pressure. Also, I was also seeing that Sam Kerr, doesn't her contract end in 6 months as well with Chelsea? So it kind of would make sense that Christy's only signed a 6-month contract because it gives both of them more flexibility to work it within each other.
On where they're going. Yeah.
So I wonder what that means.
I think it'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because I wondered if Sam would come to the US again, but I don't know. Maybe she'll go to Europe. I don't know. We'll see. Because with Emma Hayes leaving, I was like, ooh, will Sam move on?
Mm-hmm. That would be really interesting. Yeah.
Because she's won everything other than Champions League with Chelsea, so.
Emma Hayes, yeah.
And Sam. Sam has all the medals for Chelsea except the Champions League. So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you know? So it could be like, ooh, what's next for her? I feel like she's a player in the documentary that was like, I'm coming over here to challenge myself, so she wants to win. And then when she wins, I wouldn't see her staying somewhere. She's kind of like, what's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told you, I thought it was going to be Barcelona because she wanted warmer weather.
Yeah, you think she's going to Barcelona.
It's not like Barcelona need her, though.
Yeah, they do not. After watching the Chelsea doc, I am a bit bigger fan of them now. And rooting for them. So that would be cool. So does anybody have, based on our Under Pressure documentary that we're talking about right now, does anybody have any heights of players that we want to discuss?
Oh, I was going to ask y'all Lynn Williams' height.
Okay.
I'll tell you,
I think she's
5'7".
Okay.
I think she's 5'6".
5'7". Winner, Katie's chicken dinner. Mm-hmm.
What?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I think we're getting a lot better at this game.
Yeah, we are getting better. So Kylie and I had a conversation about this because we were talking about how Sam Mewis had some sort of like record for being the tallest women's national team player. And I think that's changed now, but for some reason I thought Emily Fox was really tall. But I don't think that she actually is now that I've looked up some Instagram pictures. So how tall do we think Emily Fox is?
I think she's like 5'5", 5'6". She's definitely like average height. 5'6".
I'm gonna go 5'4".
Ooh, okay.
Okay,
How tall is she?
Emily Fox is 5'5". So right in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And she's not 6 foot as I had thought maybe she was, which for some reason makes no sense.
We were just gabbing yesterday having coffee, and she thought Emily Fox was 6 foot, and I was like, what?
I'm sorry, Emily.
There's
I don't
no
know
way
why.
she's 6 foot.
No,
It's
and
like
then
Samuel is
definitely
6 foot,
not.
and
So
she's like the tallest.
yeah, yeah. That's. Oh, so actually, Kylie, I don't know if we were gonna save this for another pod, but why not? So that's actually changed. Sam Lewis is not the tallest. Guess? Does anyone want to guess who is?
On the U.S. women's national team.
Yes.
Lana Cook.
No.
Oh, is it Jane Campbell?
No. I'll tell you after one more
is
guess.
the goalie? Is it Nair? Is it Nair?
No, so it's actually Casey Murphy, though, the other goalkeeper. She's 6'1".
Wow,
Yeah, she's very tall. So anyway,
that's tall.
I know. And so now she is the tallest.
What about Trinity Rodman?
Okay, I think Trinity Rodman's
tall
like
is she?
5'8".
Okay, I'll go 5'7".
You guys are close. 5'8".
Nice job, Trista. Nice. How are you guys doing without like having women's soccer go on during this winter break? I'm struggling personally.
I'm sad. That's why I've been watching all of the documentaries. I've watched all of the documentaries. Yeah. I still have a couple left to watch. So I'm excited about that. But I'm sad. I was forced to watch
Counting down.
Yeah, I was forced, like many of us, I was forced to watch male sports, the NFL and the NBA during Christmas time. Yeah, and American football. So I did learn to care about it. I did a lot of research. I asked my brother and my father. A lot of questions so that I could get more invested, but it just wasn't the same.
Do you does your family support the Miami Dolphins?
They do. They're from Wyoming and they support the Miami Dolphins. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Isn't it because your dad really liked the quarterback?
Oh, was it the guy that was in Ace Ventura?
So I think the reason is because my dad grew up in the 80s when the Dolphins were really, really good. And they won a lot. Okay. And so my dad and my grandpa were Miami Dolphins fans. But since then, they haven't really performed as well. But like I said, when you're a fan, you're a fan. Like, you know, just like whether
thick and thin.
Yep. Whether the Dash do well or not, I am a fan. I don't care. So.
The Dash got a new head coach.
Yes.
The Dash did get a new head coach.
The Ireland head coach or Scotland head coach of something.
Celtic manager. Okay. I think it was the Celtic manager.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
About
that. That'll be interesting.
And also, we've re-signed Maria Sanchez to be
record label.
I think we talked about this in the last pod too. Yeah, but that's really cool. Go Maria Sanchez.
Yeah.
Highest paid NWSL player. What?
Yay.
With us having New Year's resolutions next year, do you guys have anything that you're proud of this year that happened?
Yeah, I bought a nice house.
You did. Yes, you did. Beautiful. A beaut.
We've got to go see that house.
A beaut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the docket. That's for sure. 2024.
I
Katie's.
got
What about you,
I
Trista?
got a new job that I am excited about.
Yay!
Yay. And worked really hard to get into a different avenue, I guess, career-wise. So I'm proud of that. And also I think just found some like stability. And that's really nice. Kylie, how about you?
Yeah. Trista, nice job. This year, I don't know. I'm proud. I went back to school this year, and that was fun. So I'm proud I got through the first semester. Just about 3 more semesters left, but yeah, I think I'm proud of kind of persevering through that. I don't know if I did it
Ooh.
all as well as I could have, but yeah, proud of myself for getting
Just
through
a
the
straight A
first semester.
student.
Yeah, but like
She's just an owl.
Kylie just got all A's, and she's like, I didn't do well enough. I needed like a 5.5 GPA.
no, I think I could have been like a better person. You know, I could have made a bit more time with my home life or my friends. You know, and I'll do differently next time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Although we were talking about what you're.
That's Trista saying you need to spend more time with
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Yeah, I get it, Kylie. That actually makes a lot of sense. No, what I was going to say is that we were talking about things you're proud of. So how we ended up talking about how you could do better, that's for next time. Those are the resolutions.
I'm proud of going through and persevering in school. However, I can still always do better. Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, we can all, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Always.
Thank you so much for listening this far into the episode. We really appreciate it. Hopefully, you learned a little bit more about Under Pressure, some of the docs that are out there, how excited we are for Emma Hayes to be joining the U.S. Women's National Team. Also, feel free to like, subscribe, rate, and review us, comment at us. Just ask questions on any of our polls that we have. We'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions you guys have. Thanks for listening to Boots, and have a good day. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.